In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted and buried an entire Roman city in 20 feet of volcanic ash. The people didn't have time to run. They were frozen exactly where they stood. When archaeologists finally dug it up 1,700 years later, they found something no one expected: the city was perfectly preserved. In the summer of 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted. Within 24 hours, the Roman city of Pompeii, a thriving community of approximately 11,000 people, was buried under 20 feet of volcanic ash, pumice, and rock. The burial was so sudden and so complete that the city was preserved exactly as it existed at the moment of destruction. Then the world forgot it was there. For 1,700 years, Pompeii sat on the Bay of Naples, roughly 5 miles from the base of Vesuvius. It was a prosperous Roman city with paved streets, running water, public baths, an amphitheater that seated 20,000, and a thriving commercial district. Its residents were merchants, artisans, slaves, politicians, and farmers. It was, by Roman standards, an ordinary place. On August 24, 79 AD, Vesuvius began erupting in the early afternoon. The eruption sent a column of ash and pumice 20 miles into the atmosphere. Pumice stones began raining on Pompeii, accumulating at a rate of several inches per hour. Some residents fled immediately. Others stayed, sheltering in their homes, believing the eruption would pass. It did not pass. Over the following 18 hours, the eruption intensified. The column of ash collapsed repeatedly, generating pyroclastic surges, superheated clouds of gas and volcanic material that swept down the mountainside at speeds of up to 450 miles per hour. The temperature within these surges reached 500 degrees Celsius. When the first pyroclastic surge reached Pompeii, death was instantaneous. The thermal shock killed every living thing in the city within seconds. People were frozen in whatever position they occupied at the moment of impact: eating, sleeping, running, embracing, praying. A mother was found curled over her infant. A man was found with his hands covering his face. A gladiator was found chained to his barracks wall, unable to flee. The ash that followed the surges sealed the city like concrete. Buildings were buried to their rooftops. Streets disappeared. The landscape above Pompeii was transformed into a flat plain of hardened volcanic material. Within a generation, no visible trace of the city remained. Over the following centuries, the location of Pompeii was gradually forgotten. Roman historians had recorded the eruption, but the exact site of the city became uncertain. Farmers tilled the fields above the buried ruins without knowing what lay beneath them. In 1748, a team of workers excavating a canal near the modern city of Naples struck a wall. Further digging revealed a room. Then a street. Then another room. They had found Pompeii. The discovery electrified the world. Nothing like it had ever been found before. This was not a collection of ruins. This was a complete Roman city, frozen in time, with its contents intact. The excavators found houses with frescoes still vivid on the walls, paintings of gardens, mythological scenes, and portraits that looked as if they had been completed recently. They found a bakery with carbonized loaves of bread still sitting in the oven. They found a fast food counter with terracotta pots containing the remains of food. They found a brothel with explicit paintings on the walls that served as a menu of services. They found graffiti. Thousands of inscriptions scratched and painted on the walls of Pompeii. Love declarations. Political endorsements. Advertisements. Insults. One famous inscription reads, "Gaius Pumitius Diphilus was here." Another, "I don't want to sell my husband." Another, found in a latrine, "Apollinaris, doctor to the Emperor Titus, had a good bowel movement here." These inscriptions are invaluable to historians. They provide a window into the everyday thoughts, humor, and concerns of ordinary Romans, a perspective that formal historical texts almost never capture. The most haunting discoveries were the bodies. As the volcanic ash hardened around the victims, their soft tissue decomposed, leaving hollow voids in the shape of their bodies. In the 1860s, archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli developed the technique of pouring liquid plaster into these voids. When the plaster hardened and the surrounding ash was removed, the result was a detailed cast of the person at the moment of death. The casts are extraordinary in their detail. Facial expressions are visible. Clothing folds are preserved. The positions of hands and limbs capture the final gestures of people who had no time to prepare for death. A dog was found straining against its chain, its body twisted in an attempt to break free. A man was found sitting against a wall, his legs drawn up, his arms wrapped around his knees. 2 women and a child were found huddled together in a basement, their faces pressed against the wall. As of today, roughly 2/3 of Pompeii has been excavated. The remaining third lies beneath modern agricultural land and cannot be excavated without displacing current residents and farms. The Italian government has chosen to leave much of the unexcavated area undisturbed, partly for preservation reasons and partly because the cost of excavation exceeds available funding. What remains buried beneath the fields of Campania is unknown. More houses. More streets. More frescoes. More bodies. More graffiti. More fragments of ordinary Roman life, sealed in ash for 2,000 years, waiting in darkness for someone to dig them up. Pompeii is not a ruin in the traditional sense. Ruins are the remains of things that fell apart over time. Pompeii did not fall apart. It was stopped. Everything in it, the art, the food, the people, exists in the exact state it occupied on an August afternoon in 79 AD. It is a photograph made of ash. A city frozen mid-sentence. And somewhere beneath the unexcavated fields, there are rooms that no one has entered since that day. Rooms where the light went out 2,000 years ago and has not yet returned. If you found this fascinating, subscribe for more stories like this. We post new videos every week.